What are some tips that you can give our audience to come up with stories where maybe they don't have a lot of time to kind of formulate them? They need to get them out quickly when, sort of time is of the essence. What would you say are some tips that maybe you've had or experienced in that realm?
So time management is a talk in and of itself, as you can imagine,
Sure,
right?
sure.
One might say, let's look at the root cause of why you don't have enough time, right? But let's just assume that none of those variables are things that we can really deal with. And inevitably, especially when somebody's trying to hurry up and get something done, or maybe it's budgeting season, or there's some kind of a natural uh, escalation point that you're coming towards, and you've got to be fast, right?
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of collaborate. Do not take it all on yourself. Understand, if I only have 5 days before this is due, what can we land that's going to have the most impact? Who can I partner with? Take a look at the vendors that you work with and the people who can be a part of building that story with you. What part could you delegate to them? And if you're the kind of person who says, I can't delegate anything, I must do it all myself, that's another talk as well. I question on how impactful of a leader you're going to be. Leaders don't hold all of the tasks. They delegate them to their teams. And oftentimes they get a better result than if they held it themselves. That doesn't mean the leader doesn't check it and sign off on it, but you should be able to trust your vendor relationships. Hopefully those are trusted advisors that you're working with. You should be able to trust people on your team to manage the pieces of that so that as a whole you come together and have a collective story. If you're the only one telling the story, you're probably not going to be successful. Remember, I talked about how you need to have feedback and engagement and stakeholder alignment. If you find that, honestly, Lilah and Dan, I don't have any of that. This stuff is due tomorrow. And to be honest, I don't have a story. I'm not going to get a story. And I don't have the stakeholders. If you have the opportunity to pause and push the meeting. Oftentimes I see people who present things and I'm like, why did you do that? Like, well, we're in a rush. You should have postponed the meeting. Postpone the meeting and live to fight another day. Because people will judge you, unfortunately, and I hate to say judge, but people judge you and they'll say, oh, okay, this person doesn't have a good handle on their business. Not only am I not going to take their point of view, but I'm not even going to give them time in my calendar again. Sometimes it takes a long time to get a stakeholder and board meeting or a meeting with the CEO or a meeting with whoever it is that's going to be a part of these stakeholders. Postpone it. It would be better to postpone it and come at it with something that you can have conviction in versus doing a half-hearted job trying to meet a deadline. A good example of that is, have you ever been in a presentation where people start the presentation, hopefully nobody did this today, I've got all these slides and I'd love to take answers and questions, but I just got all these slides. I got to get through all these slides. And you're just like, why do you have to get through all the slides? Or do you have is somebody going to pay you by slide? Or like, what is that? Right? Why are you doing that? And they're in this huge time crunch and it's not fun to listen to them. Nobody enjoys it. So what is the goal? Is the goal to get the project done? And is the goal to get your idea across the line? Or is it simply to get through all the slides? If it's just hey, I got to check a box, I don't care what happens. Then I would say don't be in that job unless that's just what jazzes you. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid to push back and postpone the meeting and get the help that you need. Find people who you can delegate some of the tasks to so that you can have a better and cohesive story.